Hello and welcome to ReginaldESQ. I'm Underhook and this is my review of the Tier 8 British SPG, the FV207. So is it any good? No, I don't think it is. It's slower and easier to spot than the Crusader SP was. However, it is more accurate, I believe, than the Crusader SP, even with identical stats. It still has a pretty low gun arc and I just couldn't get into it. It's alright, I guess. It has 430 hit points, which is average for the tier. The lowest hit points are the Lorraine with 390 and the highest goes to GW Tiger with 440. Weighing in at 60 tons, its weight is average and its top speed of 29 km an hour is the worst in class. The next worst is the Russians with 30 km an hour, which is not too bad, but the best is the French Lorraine with 60 km an hour in forward. 10 km an hour in reverse is about average. The track traverse of 20 is also is average and it's pretty slow. The view range of 330 meters is lower than the average, but it's not that important. Signal range of 750 is about average. The gun depression of -1 degree sounds terrible, is terrible, but is about average. The Russians, for example, and the French get 0 degrees of gun depression. The GW Tiger only gets 2 degrees of gun depression, and the Americans are the best with 5 degrees. So 1 degree is not too bad. Elevation wise, it gets 50 degrees of elevation. Now the Russians have the best with 60 degrees, but 50 degrees is still pretty good. The worst is the Lorraine with 45 degrees of elevation. Now I have had explained to me by a viewer named Chris Engel that the gun arc on the Crusader SP and probably on this tank is actually not too bad. It's just that because the guns are very long range, this one for example has 1400 meters range, that they don't need to elevate the gun very high to get to most targets, so the shell doesn't have to travel in a high arc. It's only when they get to their maximum range that the shell has to travel in a high arc to reach the target, and that's so I guess you can shoot over objects if they're far away, whereas the closer they are, the lower the arc, the more difficult it is to shoot over rocks and buildings and things like that. So that's something thanks Chris Engel for explaining that to me. It does make sense and helps me a little bit more with these reviews. So yeah, 1400 meter range is the same as a GW Tiger, and the lowest in range would be the Russian S14 with 1250 meters range. So it does seem to travel most of the time in a low arc, since most of the time I'm not shooting 400 meters range, which is a bit of a problem. And still, I found this tank I was needing to find the highest position I possibly could, so to ensure that I could hit as many targets as possible. These days there's very few trees around. They're really trying to stuff things up for us, and I generally found I was out like a shag on a rock on top of a hill. I would then get spotted and I have to race down the hill and try and find somewhere else to hide and not get as many shots in. I noticed some of the new maps now, they're getting rid of as many trees as they can and creating like little depressions for SPGs to hide in. That's going to be really bad for these ones with a low arc, because they're going to basically mean that anything for the first half of the map, you're not going to be able to hit them because you're not going to be able to get your gun to go out of the depression and then land on the ground. It's going to be a real pain, but anyway, they're just making it harder and harder for TDs and SPGs. Where am I up to? Reload time. The reload time is excellent on the Top Gun. It is 31.6 seconds, and that's the same as the French. They also have a great reload time of 31.6. But to give you an idea of how good that is, the next best is the Russians with 44.11. And the slowest is the GW Tiger with 49.6. So 31.6 is pretty quick aiming time. Loading time. That said, the aiming time of 6.23 is also very good. The Lorraine is fast with 5.75, but all of the others have 7.19 seconds aiming time. So really good reload time and a good aiming time as well. The accuracy of this gun is, the Top Gun is 0.69, which is the second best. The Lorraine has is the best. The Lorraine has 0.71, which is fairly similar, but the others are all 0.82 or worse. So good reload time, good aiming time, and good accuracy. Splash radius though is the worst in class, as we've come to expect with these British tank destroyers. Artillery, I'll just say artillery. The splash radius is 3.67 meters, which is the worst. The next worst is Lorraine with 3.97, so it's not a lot better. But all of the others have over 6 meters of splash radius. So that means if you miss a tank and you land within 3 meters, you'll still damage it. Whereas with the Russian, well, most of the other TDs, you can land within 6 meters and still damage it. So you have much more chance of damaging with a miss, and you have much more chance of damaging more than one tank at a time if they're closely packed in. So not good on the British tanks. The penetration and damage of the guns is also pretty lackluster, and I'll get into that when we just have a look at the grind here. So I'll get the guns up. So basically the grind, there's not too much to do. The engine I think I already had from my previous tanks. I went straight to the top radio. The tracks, obviously take your track traverse from 18 to 20, and it's an upgrade you have to have because it speeds up your aiming time basically. Now the stock gun actually worked a lot better than it did on the Crusader SP, even though the accuracy, in fact all the stats are exactly the same except the rate of fire. The rate of fire on the Crusader SP was 2.14. When you get on this tank, it's 2.4. So you will have to use this tank for a little while unless you want a free XP or something. But I found it to work a lot better. It seemed a heck of a lot more accurate than it was on the Crusader SP. Now, I think this accuracy of 0.72 is probably about right. But I think on the Crusader SP, it was probably more like about 0.85, even though it said 0.72. So, yeah, the gun actually works alright. I had some good games with this gun. But the temptation of the bigger amount of damage is too much, and so I ended up settling with this gun. Now it has a 1.82 rate of fire, and we did talk about that's 31.6 seconds or something to reload. It has penetration of 90, which is pretty poor, as we're used to on these British artillery. The next best is the Lorraine, that has 95mm of penetration, but the others will have, well, between 102 and 105 mils, so it's lacking in pen as usual. The damage of 1250 is the equal worst. The Lorraine also does 1250, and both the SU and the Americans do 1850 damage per shot, which is a lot more. That's an extra 600. It's a third more. And the GW Tiger does 2000 damage per shot with a penetration of 105. So the potential for big damage is much higher on most of the other SPGs except for the French. So it is a bit of a thing. You don't do a lot. With the Crusader SP, the average damage was around 300 and 350. With this tank, I'm finding my average damage with this gun is about 500 to 550. So not really very good. But I guess what they're saying is the high rate of fire and the accuracy makes up for it. I don't think it does, but it is what it is. So yeah. Why don't we now, we will have a look in Tank Inspector, quick look and see the armor for this tank. But basically, like I said, I found getting as high as possible and then moving if you get spotted. Let's have a look in Tank Inspector and have a look at some gameplay. As usual, I forgot to tell you about my crew. They're all fully trained. The commander has 6th sense repairs, yep, and is working on camouflage. The gunner has camouflage repairs working on snapshot. The other gunner has repairs and is working on snapshot. And the driver has smooth ride clutch braking and is working on camouflage. And the loader has camouflage and is working on brothers in arms. And this guy also has camouflage, loader, and is working on brothers in arms. I have gun laying drive, gun rammer, and vents fitted, which is why the crew skills are higher. And small repair kit, large repair kit, and large first aid kit fitted. The FV207 in Tank Inspector. Now I forgot to mention nearly part of the review, the gun traverse. The gun traverse is very good on this tank. It is 44 degrees. Now that's the best in class. The worst is the Russians with only 8 degrees. The Geo Tiger has 10 degrees, and the other guys have in the 30s. So 44 degrees is really good. So let's have a look at that now. You can see here, that's quite a decent gun traverse, and does mean that you do not have to keep moving your tracks and readjusting your aim, and it's good for hitting moving targets as well if you're following a moving target. Really good. Now let's have a quick look at the armor. It has 38 degrees on this frontal plate, and down here in the looks like an axle I guess, but it's 20 degrees the armor there anyway, and the whole top of the tank is 17 millimeters thick, which means if an arty shell directly hits you, you're a goner, which is fair enough. But the sides of the tank, 51 millimeters is not bad. It's 51 millimeters up here as well, and even the rear of the tank is 51 millimeters. Down low here, it's a little bit less at 38. Now there is some spaced armor here on the side. It's 6 millimeters, which is a lot, but but it overlays the 51. So it does mean that if artillery is shooting at you and it lands close by, you are fairly well protected from splash damage. The armor is thick enough and the plate here is good enough to protect you from quite a bit of the splash damage. However, if a tank comes across you, a scout tank or something, you're dead meat. It's not going to stop anything in that respect. Let's get into some gameplay. So before we get into the gameplay proper, I thought we'd kick it off with a little bit of TD mode. Now, I thought someone was going to try and come up behind me, and sure enough, there he was. I thought I'd head him off. He almost kills me, Tiger P. And we get a pretty good shot into him. Not bad damage for this TD. Of course, it can't last. Just got spotted and hit by IS-3. You can see there's a leopard there coming after me. I've been tracked. And I'm reloading.
Track fixed. Let's roll.
Got to get the gun to point down.
Gotcha.
I admit that was pretty lucky that that shot hit. But you can see there what I mean about the 1 degree of gun depression. You have to get the gun to point down. I was desperate and I just fired as soon as the gun hit his level. I'll just speed it up a little bit. Trying to defend Cap here now. And normal speed. Sorry, that's half speed. That's normal speed.
That was close.
And my teammates finish off the job.
We're done for. Everyone get out.
1492 damage. He left him with 58 hit points.
They're knocked out.
Yes, that was a splash kill.
Critical hit.
I'll just speed it up a little bit during reload. 4 times. Times. Normal speed.
They're knocked out.
Yes, I actually bounced a shot from a Centurion 7-1 there. Speeding it up again. 2 times. Normal speed.
They killed her. Got him. We're done for. Everyone get out. Time to roll out.
The map is Steps. It's a tier 8 game and we're tier 8 British artillery. And we have in this game the stock gun. So the reason I'm showing you this game with the stock gun, it's the gun off the Crusader SP, is because this guy up there is going to the spot I was going to go to, so I decided to switch spots. Because it works a lot better, a heck of a lot better than it did in the Crusader SP. Even though the only stat that's better is the rate of fire, which is only slightly improved, but I found the accuracy to be far better. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit while I move into position. And as I said, with the Crusader SP and with this one, I found getting as high as possible enables me to get more shots on opponents. Although I am sticking out like a shag on a rock. So I'm at normal speed now. Someone else got that one before I could aim on him. Ah, there's another one. So yeah, you do get you know, a better rate of fire than you do with the Top Gun and all that sort of stuff. Although the Top Gun is on paper more accurate. And that was, I have to say, a fantastic hit. I judged his movements really well, and we did get a hit in there. It didn't register because he wasn't visible at the time. Blind shot. Just waiting for it to reload. And he's on the move again. It is hard to judge because your shell takes longer depending on how far away they are and all that. But,
Critical hit.
there we go, we get another one. In these sort of circumstances, having a low trajectory is actually beneficial because there's more chance of your shell passing through the target if it's moving towards you. Whereas a high trajectory, it's harder to actually hit. So well armoured, fairly well armoured tank, the KV-13.
Critical hit.
Hit him in the front side there for 279, I think it was. I think we hit his tracks maybe. So even though we're quite high, we're still hitting these tanks in the side, not on the top. I was just waiting for him to move into line with my gun, because if I go much further to the left I can't get over the ridge line and I can't get hits in, so just patiently waiting for him to move into my my shot, and we got a good hit. Well, a good hit for this gun. The game's pretty close with both teams have lost 4 tanks. I let another shell go and we get another 360 off him, another good hit. Type 59 really going for it there, trying to circle the IS-3. The IS-3 can turn his gun fairly quickly, but with a little help he managed to nail it. Well done. SU-100. I'm just going to guess. I've let a shell go, guessed his movements. We didn't hit him. Hopefully we got him with some splash damage, although with the very low splash radius it's probably unlikely. Okay, T-32, we have 3 tanks closing on his T-32, so he's retreating quickly. So I'm anticipating his movements so that I can just leave my sight there and let it aim a little bit quicker without me having to move my turret or anything. Move my gun. And anticipating where he's going to go, I'll let the shell go. Goes.
That was close.
It was close, it says. So yeah, we got him with splash damage. I didn't quite anticipate his movements properly, and it landed next to him, not on top of him. But it was enough to track him, allowed our teammates to catch up and kill him, so we would have got some assistance damage there, I hope. T-59 now harassing SU-100. Seems to be doing a pretty good job, this T-59. So just trying to anticipate the movement before I let the shell go, and he's gone. I've got to let it go now. And we miss. Not by much though. Unfortunately that T-59 just got killed. And I've been spotted. I start moving back. I see there's the AMX-12T there. So I start moving back to throw artillery off, basically. I move backwards and forwards a bit because I want to shoot this AMX-12T, but I also don't want to get hit by artillery. So I'm moving back and forward. I'm hoping artillery will be anticipating my movement and then overshoot. But I would have expected an artillery shell to have come in by now. And where I am now, it's probably fairly hard for artillery to hit me. But I would have thought they would have shot it or been shooting at me, so they must have had something better to shoot at. So I wait till my spot's gone off the radar and I pop back into the same position. Relocating in this tank is pretty difficult because it's big and it has poor camouflage and it's slow. So like for me to move to another high spot now could take 2 minutes, and it's just too much of the game. So let the shell go and we get him. So yeah, as far as counter battery work goes, we're trying to shoot the other artillery and spot them and stuff like that. I hardly ever move. I've only, in a couple hundred games, only 3 times I've been counter batteried. Okay, I've been spotted again. Looks like that T-71, so I'm going to have to move back once again. Now, I'm kind of expecting that T-71 to come after me, even though he was moving the other way. I mean, that's what I would do too. I would pretend that I hadn't seen Artie, wait till I've gone off the radar and double back and go and get Artie. So I'm assuming that's what he's going to do as well. So I'm just aiming at the corner area here for when he comes past. And I get spotted again. Who's spotting me? It's this SU-100 over here. So I move forward a little bit to try and put this ridge between me and him. And then, really fortunately, I actually slide sideways down the hill. Which fortunately actually puts him in a spot where I can shoot the guy. Now he fires at me and misses.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
And we don't miss. So a stroke of luck there. That sliding down sideways down the hill put me in the perfect position. It was all planned. I knew I'd slide sideways down there. Yeah. Cool. So now we're going to go back up into position. Now there's only 2 tanks on each side. The enemy has their T-71 and their artillery, and we have 2 artillery. So I figure if I go up on top of the hill again, I should be able to spot this T-71, and hopefully the other artillery on my team can shoot it with a bit of luck. Because I'm half thinking he was going to come around the corner. He hasn't come, so I'm going to go top of the hill, spot him, let our artillery shoot it. That's my plan. Here we go. Uh-oh, we've proximity spotted him. He's... Oh! Okay, I thought he was coming for me, but... Oh, okay, he was just spotting for their artillery. So he was trying to do the same thing as me. Alright, so he's been spotted. He's moving and moving because he knows the other artillery will be trying to shoot him. I'm just getting ready for him to come past. Here we go. He hits me, and I hit him and set him on fire. Artillery fires again and misses. And oh, the T-71 finally kills me. And yes! The fire burns him out and he dies. So now it's just our arty versus their arty. Now their arty's on 3 kills. I didn't hang around, I've got to tell you, I didn't hang around to see what happened at the end of this game. But I can say that, well, I'll let you see. So our artillery did the job and he went and won the game. Well done. So yeah, victory, great stuff. There's class 2 badge you saw there as well. So class 2 with the stock gun, not bad. We finished 2nd for damage. Our artillery, the guy that won the game for us, he actually... oh no, he didn't. This guy won the game for us. He's got 0 damage. How did he win the game with 0 damage? The other guy didn't die. He must have capped. He must have capped and the other guy didn't stop him. Unbelievable. So he won the game for us with 0 damage. Anyway, our other arty up here, this Lorraine, managed to get top damage. I think that's an arty. That's funny. Okay. So we fired 11 shots. 8 of those were direct hits, a couple of splash damage. We did 2,937 with the stock gun. If I'd done 2,907 in the Crusader SP, I'd have been wrapped. The gun works a lot better in this tank than it did in the Crusader SP. It's a lot more accurate. So why? I do not know. Very interesting. We damaged 7, destroying 3, and got 579 assistance damage, which is nice. And we received fair bit of coin, not too bad. 25,000 profit. And 881 XP was enough for a class 2. So you can see the stock gun isn't too bad, and if after playing the SP, it's actually a pleasure using the stock gun in this tank.
This show on the road.
Okay, it's a tier 10 game. We're in our tier 8 British artillery, the FV207. And just moving straight back here behind these bushes into position here. So this gives a good chance to see how it does against tier 10s, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tier 10s on the enemy team, or one of them is an artillery, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tier 9s, and the rest are tier 8s, except for 1 tier 7 scout, I think. So good chance to see how the low damage, low pen gun does against tier 10s. So not many places I can get a shot on through these buildings here. So just hoping somebody drives through a spot I can actually hit. So I'm not really going to get any shots there. I'm wasting my time. I can see there's tanks moving up on the other side. Quite a big push. So we need to see if we can do something here. So I'm just waiting for it to aim in now. As you can see, the aim is quite a bit slower than the stock gun. aim for the 42, and we get a good hit into the back side of the 42 doing 585. And that shows you how weak the gun is. I remember driving a Lorraine 40T, a tier 9 medium tank, and being utterly destroyed by artillery on quite a few occasions. So this gun really, something like a T40 should just been obliterated. But yeah, it's damage-wise not very good. But at least we hit it. So release my shell once I can see stationary, and we do 359 to the STI. It's an I, it's not a 1. Just waiting for my gun to reload. I see this, I think it's a Super Pershing. Where the hell is he going? Is he trying to make it across to this island? No, he's coming up. I'm not going to bother shooting at him because I don't think he's going to live very long out there anyway. So I don't think he's actually going to be much of a threat to the team. I'm hoping I can get the Lorraine with splash damage after hitting the Jag Tiger. You see there we hit the Jag Tiger 538, but our splash radius is so small we didn't splash the 40T at all. With an artillery with the ones with the 6-meter splash, I reckon for sure then we would have killed that Lorraine when we hit that Jag Tiger, and that's a real... yeah. Anyway, it's something that makes this artillery very hard to have big damage games, I find anyway. That said, I never got my mastery in this, so I haven't yet anyway. I'm still grinding actually. I've still got about 20,000 XP to go. It is a very, very slow grind, very tough grind, because the amount of XP you're earning is very low, simply because you can't do a lot of damage. I can't anyway. My best game is around about... just under 4,300 damage. That was my best game. So, and I might actually put that game into my kick-ass gameplay section if I can get it uploaded before... Ooh, 509 there, not too bad. If I can get it uploaded before 9.3 comes out. Because once 9.3 comes out, it's going to wreck all my old replays. So, that probably won't work. Alright, so just waiting to reload. Hopefully I can finish off this STI. As you can see, there's a lot of our tanks are shooting at it and bouncing off it. It's a tough tank to pen. And I'm indicating, letting everyone know I'm about to shoot it. I let the shell go, and we miss. We hit the tank in front. Unfortunately, E50M coming dangerously close to us. T62A is trying to take him on, but he's no match for an E50M. Someone else is shooting it in the side though, so hopefully we'll get rid of it soon. I've got another 9 seconds till reload. I'm anticipating he's going to move forward, which he hasn't as yet. Nearly reloaded, and let the shell go.
That was close.
We just miss him, but we still get him for 249 with splash damage, so we landed right next to him. And someone else gets the kill, but at least we've got some damage on him. So now we have... well, it's 10-7, so we've killed 10 tanks, so 5 left, they've killed 7, so we have, what, 7 tanks left, something like that? 8 tanks. Okay, WZ-131, that's a tier 8 or something, 7 or 8 tank. So we fire their good shot, 575, which wipes off the majority of his health, so he's a bit sick now. Just waiting to reload, but it's a long reload, so we may not get another shot in here. I might just... no, I'll leave it. And we've almost reloaded. And now he decides to move around. Just not... okay, let the shell go because he stops for a second and we get him. Great job there. So we actually took out the entirety of his health, finishing off that tank. Now, this is our cap. And this is this T125 trying to come up on our cap. So if I fire on him when he's up the hill like that, I will probably be spotted straight away. But I don't have a lot of choice at the moment. I don't know where the rest of my team is either. It's on their cap. We're capping, so okay. We just need to hold this guy off, and we're capping, so it looks like we're going to win. I could probably just not fire and hopefully not be detected, but hey, I'd rather get some damage, and if I get killed, I get killed. But as you can see, they've got a red indicator, so I can't shoot over the hill. I need him to come up the hill so I can get the shot into him. I haven't got a line there at all. The 183 is going for him and misses, and continues for a ram but gets killed by the T110E5. So now he comes up the hill. Let's see if we can get a shot into his side here. I let the shell go, but I missed. Now miraculously he didn't spot me. That was a bad miss. Here he is. And I'm moving my tank to adjust the aim here. He spotted me when I moved. I've been hit, 360 damage. I haven't got much health left. Come on, reload, 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 reload. Fire. Alright, we did 673 to him there. That's not too bad. He hasn't got much health left, and our RHM is just over there. Maybe we'll be able to finish him off. Alright, so that was a Class 1 game, which is very nice. Tier 10 game too, so you can see we did hit Tier 10 tanks, quite a few Tier 10 tanks, and you can see the kind of damage we're doing. And we finished on top for experience, but for damage, we finished second for damage. There's actually way down the list there's an Object 261 which did 3.9 or something, but second for damage from the Tier 8 and Tier 10 game is pretty respectable. And we fired 11 shots, 7 of those were direct hits and 5 splash damage. We did 3,793 damage, and we received 2 hits which both penetrated, and we damaged 6 and destroyed 1. Tiny bit of assistance damage. That gave us a 46,000 income and left us with 21. I haven't ever used premium ammunition in this tank to get the extra splash damage. I just don't think it's worth the money. We received 984 raw XP, which was a Class 1, so I'm guessing Mastery is probably about 1050, 1100, something like that. I wasn't able to get it though, or thus far I haven't got it. Okay. Thank you for watching my review of the British FV207. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more reviews, please subscribe to ReginaldESQ. Have fun.